everybody. The assignment for today, we're going to start working on our project for the unit. And we're going to do that by having you take some personality tests. And then ultimately, you're going to be working with that to put together a profile. So the first part of this is really just taking the tests and getting some basic information. So it's in the Unit 4 folder called Personality Tests. You're going to open up the document that's down below. That looks like this. It says, use the links below to take 4 personality tests, complete the table for each test, then develop an infographic in Canva. So part 2 is really the project where you're taking the information from here and doing something with it. More on that in a second. But for now, we have 4 different tests. 3 of them are more serious. One is more for fun. We will be studying a number of different personality profiles in this unit, one of which is the Big 5. So if you click on the link here, you'll go to the Big 5 personality test. All of these will have you answer questions of one type or another. And then when you get done, it's going to give you information about your profile. So I would read a little bit about it, so it'll help you kind of understand what it is that you're doing, and make sure that you're following directions. So, for example, this one says there's 50 items that you're going to rate on how true they are about you, from 1, which is disagree, to 5, which is agree. 3 is like neutral. You're kind of in the middle. It says it takes most people 3 to 8 minutes. Okay, so then you would click here and move forward. Same thing, when you're done, you're going to get a bunch of results. You're going to want to get detailed results because you're going to be putting this together in a project. So the more information that you can fill in here, the more it's going to help you with step 2. So make sure you're getting specific details. Copying and pasting results could make sense. The side on the right says reflect on these. What's accurate, what is inaccurate. So that's where you can kind of give me some more feedback on what you think about what you got. Second one is kind of like a Myers-Briggs type test. It's called Open Extended Jungian Type Scales 1.2. So it's in the same ballpark as Myers-Briggs. It's just slightly different. So again, read a little bit of the background, look at the directions, and then you can hit start. When you get your results, you're going to put detailed results down for what it says about your profile, and then you can reflect. Third one is the Enneagram. This one seems to be very popular lately. I'm going to let you kind of make decisions for yourself about what you're seeing here, but same deal. Read some of the background so you kind of know what the Enneagram is coming from. And then this one says 36 statements that you're going to rate on a 5-point scale for how much you agree, 4 to 6 minutes. So the tests themselves do not take a ton of time, but it will take you a little time to work through these. So I think today the assignment is just to kind of work on some of these tests and collect some data. The more of your results that you get, the more of your data, the more you're going to have to work with. So again, I think if you're copying and pasting, that would make sense. The last one is more for fun. This is the which character personality test. So they have you answer questions, and then there's a number of different characters that you can choose. So once you get to your results, there's actually a drop-down box. So all kinds of different movies and popular shows, it'll tell you which character in the movie or the show is more like your personality. So this one's just for fun. When you're finished with the tests, we're going to move into phase 2, and you're going to have some time next week to be working on some of this. But you're going to put together an infographic that basically describes your personality. So who are you according to these tests? So we're going to use canva.com. There's a link here. When you go to canva.com, there is, you're going to log in, and there's a bunch of stuff that you can do here. And I really like Canva. I think it's a useful tool for a lot of things. I use it in a lot of different circumstances. it's free unless you want to do extra fancy things, which you won't need to do here. But if you do want to do fancy things, you're going to have to probably pay a little bit more money. So what we're going to do is we're going to type in infographic, and it popped up for, I even typed anything. And the nice thing in Canva is they have templates that you can use. So we're going to want to create a design. Oh, hold on. Let's do this. I did it maybe the wrong way. So we're going to pick a template, or we can start with the blank infographic template. So you're going to look and see if there's anything that looks like a good structure or frame for what you're doing with your personality. So you're going to be telling us about the different tests that you took. Notice there's a little $sign on this one that says paid. So that one you don't get for free. So don't pick one of those. But let's say I'm looking here and I think, oh, this one right here looks like a great template that I can use. So we get into our work window. Internet's slow, and I can make it bigger or smaller, right? So I can zoom way in, and you can click on anything on here and you can change images, change text. What is basically set for you is some of the background. So let's say I don't like these yellow things, even though that's why I picked this one. I can get rid of it, right? And I can add whatever I want. Over on the side here, you can play around with Canva a little bit, but they have all kinds of different tools that you can use. So let's say I want to add a triangle for some reason. I put this over here and I can make it bigger and I can change the color, right? You can do whatever you want. So you're going to make your infographic basically be a description of who you are based on these personality tests. And part of your points for this is to make this creative. So it says, summarize what the tests above tell you about your personality. We should see details based on these tests and the different traits. So for example, the Big Five will measure your personality along 5 personality traits. So you should talk about all 5, right? Where you scored on each. Same things for Myers-Briggs. You're going to get a 4-letter descriptor for each of those 4 personality traits that they talk about. So you should explain what it said about you and where you fall, etc. for the other tests. When you're done and you have it all looking good, you're going to download this, I think, as a PDF, not a PDF, a PNG or a GIF file. And you could submit that as your assignment. Okay, so after you summarize what the personality tests say about your personality, it says reserve a space in your infographic to answer the following questions. So these 2 things should be included. And this is your reflection on the process, really. Which of these tests do you think describes you most accurately? Tell me why. And in general, do you think it's useful to take these kinds of tests? Do they help you understand yourself better? So those 2 questions, if you want to add a box somewhere where you kind of address that, that would be great. We want this to look nice. It should be creative. It should be graphic. Huge blocks of text are probably not the best way to do this. More like bullet points and kind of big ideas summarized. Just one more note, you will see sometimes some of the images, some of the different graphics you can pull in have this little crown logo. And that, again, is something that you can only use if you have the paid version. So avoid those unless you want to pay for it. It'll let you actually pull them in, but then when you go to download the thing, it won't be available. So I would avoid those. You can see the scoring for how this is broken down. 20 points, so almost half, well, a little more than half of the overall points are for specific and detailed information from the tests, so that you're representing what the test said about you well. The other 15 points, the overall look which means that your information is organized. It's easy to read. I can follow, where the different tests are on your infographic. I can make sense out of what you present. And then 5 points for creativity, for just the look of the thing in terms of graphics and images and things like that. So you want it to look nice. That is it. So you don't have to do the whole thing today. Obviously, you're going to have time to do some work, and I will put the due date on the calendar for the project. But the starting point for today is just to start taking some of these tests and gathering some of that information. If you have any questions for me, if this is confusing, you can definitely email me, and we can talk if need be. Have a good afternoon.